Welcome back to the channel. I wasn't intending to do a video today, but I am gonna. I am changing an edit that I previously have already done, and in the pursuit of insanity, I've completely revamped it, redid it, and doing the processing stuff now, hence the black screen. So I figured I would take some time. I kind of already made this video talking about my past weekend hanging out with Gordon Scott and F and Chet, our little road trip. I still have 40 clips or so I have to put together. I did a whole vlog of basically the whole day, more of the drive there and the drive home, and I may slip in a couple clips here and there of some of the flying, but as a testament to the build, my OCD, and to making things work the way that I want to, I brought this little guy. And when I build a quad and after I test it and it flies, I kind of throw it to the wolves, so to speak, where I will, as long as I know everything works and the video is good, you know, my house is perfect and fine for testing other than long range. And I don't really do long range, as in just making sure if I'm out in the trees somewhere, I'm not going to lose video. But, so, you know, I'll stand purposely with my back up against the house or something like that, fly all the way around the house, which passes by my power wires, and that tests my video, make sure I'm not going to get any breakup. I'll play up in the trees a little bit for something that's made to do that, and make sure that it flies smooth, flight times, stuff like that. So I did all that, and I was completely confident before I did the video that I'm going to put out for Monday. I've convinced myself that I was going to do something else, and I'm excited to get this one out to you guys because of how awesome I think it is, and I think you guys will too. But we went to this epic place that I've never been before, and the terrain there was, I mean, I am a lack of word. I am at a lack of words. All I can say is epic. Epic AF. Chet and I's mouth hit the floor when Gordon took us to this spot. We only had to go into the woods literally 4 or 5 minutes at max to find these incredible spots, and we've only touched just the basic beginning of this location, and there's so much more there I want to fly. I purposely brought extra batteries this time because I tend to underpack batteries so I don't spend an entire day out in the woods. You know, part of the adventure is the adventure and not necessarily the flying. And I wanted to soak up hanging out with friends and stories and stuff like that. So I literally brought 4 quads. I brought Pearl, I brought Two-Face, I brought Enigma, which didn't even fly, and I brought Boo. And Boo is no longer part of my arsenal. It is now part of Gordon's arsenal. He was interested, wanted to see it fly, and I think based on the footage that I got with it and how I flew with it, it was the deal breaker for Gordon. I'm sure he'll comment on this video, but Boo is now part of his arsenal, which is cool, and he's part of NEFPV, so it found a good home, and I'm very excited for that. So I flew Two-Face, and that's the Beta 95X pusher. I saved the 2 packs for his house and did some chasing of the RC cars and stuff like that, which was incredible. I flew 2 packs with Boo. I flew the same spot but different lines and different things with the GoPro, the Hero 7, and got some footage there. And then on the back side of this area, along where the river follows and makes this cool trail, and so I did that the other side with Boo. I flew the cliff and all in between and every other little thing I could find, and I cannot describe. I hope F and Chet and Gordon, like I said, make a comment. You know, it's one thing coming from me, but when my pals and other people are seeing how things fly, that gives me validity, that gives other people validity. You know, as in like a Cinewhoop or a 5-inch quad, you know, it's kind of past toy grade where it's a dangerous machine in a sense, or the 5-inch anyway. You know, and the Cinewhoop's pure purpose is to go slow and be Cadillac-like and get the footage. And I kind of wanted to take that platform and then shrink it down into a package where it's less obtrusive, less loud, doesn't scare people, and can go places that other quads can't. And that was the whole crazy design idea for this little 75 millimeter thing. And it proved itself in gold, weight, whatever the term I can't think of. It went where I wanted it to. It shot the gaps I wanted to. There was a tiny breeze and it did not bother it. It was just locked in. And a huge component to that is the extra weight from the Insta360 Go 2. That changed how this quad flew. The tune that was on it was perfect, but it wasn't perfect for the way it was before without that on it. The extra weight that it added took a small amount, 30, 40 seconds ish, away from the flight time, give or take on how hard you're flying it, maybe a touch more. I could even say a minute if I was ripping, but that's not made to rip. But soon, and again, I enjoyed how it flew in the house, and it before and after I changed out the split cam that was inside there, which, unless they can find a way to isolate and really dampen that with these tiny little quads, it's a pain in the ass. And again, you get a lot of rocking back and forth, so it takes away, at least from my style flying, it takes away from the footage. But not to bunny trail off, like I said. So I was happy with how it flew, and it was more of just ripping around in the house and smaller locations. And I'm like, this thing needs to be outside. And again, I've done a killer yard flight that I didn't post, won't post. It's just another backyard, playing in the trees, going into the woods much farther than I wanted to. But I want to know my stuff works when I go out into the quote-unquote field. And holy shit, I just kept going. I stayed in my lines that I was picking, and it went perfect. It didn't get blown around. It was smooth, so smooth. And again, some of those vibrations are now gone because I think the extra weight helps lock it into place. I'm convinced of it. Forget that. I got to try the other battery on it. This is more of the flatter, skinnier. The other one's skinnier. I call them both candy bars, but this is more of the brick style. The other one's an HV. This one is not. Actually, yesterday I went in, just kill some time in the basement. I made some little nubs here just for backup for a rubber band. So if I take a hit, at least that thing doesn't launch off. And it works, but I've got two different batteries styles, and I have not tried the other one yet, which that battery is just a tiny bit lighter, so I may just have to push it back farther. But this is going to the forefront of the tools that I'm going to bring with me more often. As long as it's not windy out or decently windy, this can do. This can go places that others cannot. And I have a feeling I'm going to continue to push myself to the point where I'm going to end up stuck in a tree somewhere that I don't want to be, because I'm just that kind of crazy. But I got some awesome footage. I said I got a whole vlog I got to put together. I did a flight with this also at his house. Gordon has made kind of a really kick-ass, simple design, but awesome course for the bigger stadium style trucks, and he's making a crawler section in this cool little path right on the edge of his property, which I had this vision of a shot that I wanted to get that was working with F and Chet from coming out of the woods, going into the path, and there is him crawling through that path. So I got some footage of going through that little area, and it was perfect because it's a tiny, cramped little area, and a normal 3-inch Cinewhoop would definitely get through it no problem, but it made it even more fun by using this little guy and getting some really cool shots with it. So I am going to work with this more. I'm kind of want to come up with a series like Tiny World or Little Quad, Big World, something along the lines of, as humans, we think that we're this big, bad human being and we run this world, but we're so insignificant and so tiny in the perspective of things, especially when you go and see mountains and skydiving or whatever it is that kind of should humble us back to we are just flesh and blood on this planet like the rest of the living things, and kind of need to humble ourselves a little more and not walk around thinking we're the shit. But I'm gonna do this little side project, I think, and take this little guy everywhere and get some shots. A playground that I haven't flown that I wanted to fly 2 weekends ago that I ended up getting up in the trees and doing some cool edits over there at the library here in town. I want to get back. I'm going to do an early morning thing there. It's that playground I've done a couple times, but never got it the way that I wanted to. Um, I've flown that there. I flew right up to a hawk, which was really crazy, but it had that stupid camera in there, so it never fulfilled or satisfied me with what I got. So now that this thing is complete and the vision is there, I'm gonna take it back and get a really playful, fun edit out of that epic playground. But what time is it? Ew. It's my dinner time. I want to relax, finish up what I'm working on up here. So share your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think of this little thing, and you're gonna laugh and you're gonna be amazed at the footage that comes from this. Um, I'm happy. I'm happy. I don't say that very often. Like, I'm completely satisfied now. No more changes other than some cosmetic stuff if it comes down to it. I have not put any LEDs on this thing, and it's probably one of the ones that should, because it's gonna get stuck somewhere. I'm not gonna find it. And again, just a little tiny piece, one single LED might be the way to go with this. I'll have to figure it out. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, and stay tuned for the next edit. Peace.